A lot of the gymnasts are here for their first major international. Others are more experienced as we look at the start list for the first rotation. And then the second group here. Marcel Graf from Germany going last, qualified in 7th place. This is the third of the World Challenge Cups this year. It started in Varna in Bulgaria. The second one was Koper in Slovenia. That was the last chance for some of these gymnasts to go through their paces before the European Championships in Leipzig. 19 nations were on the podium spots at World Cup. We're now in Tashkent before the gymnasts move to Paris in September and then Hungary at the end of that month. But we are about to start, and it's the neutral athlete going first. This is Ale Ceselski, qualified in 8th place, had a degree difficulty of 4.6. There will be 8 elements in this men's floor, not 10. That's another change since the Olympic Games. So the 8 most difficult elements will make the assigned degree difficulty. Very solid on the double tuck there. Just a very slight step to the side. The all-important balance. Showing good strength. Just losing the landing there after the double pike, making a full use of the 70 seconds they're allowed now. That's again is a change. It used to be 75 seconds. So if you heard the sound there, that's their warning that the time is nearly up. So 8 elements, not 10, as I was saying. They get a 0.1 bonus if they stick the final landing. Unfortunately, he didn't. Also bonuses for joining the skills together. Certainly showing lots of power. Tumbling was powerful. Very nice on the twists, keeping the legs close together. Managing to hold on there. Important to do the work down on the floor as well. The 23-year-old, this is his first international final, so he has done exceptionally well to qualify here today. He did compete at the World Championships back in 2019 and the European Championships in 2021. But he must have been absolutely delighted to just qualify in 8th place. He had a difficulty of 4.6 in the preliminaries and scored 12.7. It's a score of 12.3, so slightly less on the score that he got at the preliminaries. Emre Koşak from Turkey qualified in 6th place with a score of 13. Just really went for it there, but obviously there'll be deductions for coming out of the line area, the 12 meters by 12 meters that they are allowed. Managing to control it a lot more now as he shows this strength move down on the floor. Balances have to be held for more than 2 seconds. And again, I think the adrenaline was really in him. He threw himself into that performance. It's 0.1 deduction if you have 1 foot out of the lines, but it is a 0.3 for the whole body. So that is going to obviously affect his overall score. But he had some good combination work. The tumbles were probably a little bit too aggressive and strong and difficult to control. And the last pass certainly contained multiple saltos, but just not being able to control it. I think he needed 15 meters by 15 meters, didn't he? So important to control those landings. But the floor is sprung, of course, and it does make it very difficult. That was good. Certainly getting the height there as well. Competed at the World Cups this year. Took a bronze in the steel rings twice, in Turkey and in Germany. Competed in 2 World Championships, so the 24-year-old is very experienced. 12.3 is the score to beat at the moment. He was one of the gymnasts that did compete in Leipzig, so he's had a very busy time of it recently. Steel rings was his best apparatus there. So he's done well to qualify for the floor final here. Turkey finishing 13th in the team event at those European Championships. Good to see that the crowds have turned up for this event. Always anxious moments as you wait for the scores to come through. So to remind you, his floor score was 13.0. Obviously the deductions for coming out of the 12 meters is going to have quite an impact, as it happened twice. So he will be frustrated and disappointed with that. But he did get very good height on some of the twists. Patiently waiting for the scores. but it won't be what he had hoped for, what he'd visualized. Taking a little bit of time here, but that's so important that it is correct. He's an experienced gymnast, but often these World Challenge Cups are a first chance, really, to compete on the international stage before moving then to the World Cups, Continental Championships, World Championships and Olympic Games. It's a 12.2 and a penalty of 0.6 there for twice coming out of the area, 0.3 for each time. His teammate up next, Mert Kilitke from Turkey. Qualified 4th. Can he go one higher? Starting with a very nice double pike, harder than the double tuck. Very solid on the tumbling. Just having to adapt a little bit on the landing there as he goes more into the floor work and the strength. Would have liked to have seen that a bit more stationary for the 2 seconds. Good. No problems. A very clean performance there from Kilitke. Bronze medalist on the horizontal bar at the World Cup earlier this year. The 20-year-old. He had a degree difficulty of 4.6 in the preliminaries, so less than his teammate. But he didn't come out of the area, so there won't be any penalties for that. Score to beat at the moment is the neutral athlete, who's at 12.3, Zaselski. The 20-year-old has set his sights high. His absolute aim is to be in the Olympics and take a medal. As we get a chance to see it again, the double pike, just very slight alterations on the landings, which count for about a tenth of a point. Just always just not quite sticking the final one with those extra tiny little hops. Very, very difficult when you're on a sprung floor like this. But these point ones certainly have made it interesting for the athletes, for the gymnasts. Certainly at the European Championships, it could make the difference between a medal or not having a medal if you can stick that final one. 12.9, he goes into the lead. An execution score of 8.5, slightly less on the difficulty than he had at the preliminaries, 0.2 less. The final one in this first group, Abdulaziz Merviev, representing Uzbekistan. Qualified in first place. He is very solid on his landings. Just a couple of extra little hops on the last two. Fabulous on the floor work. Now the balance for 2 seconds. building up. And the double pike saltos, those multiple saltos. He was the only one to get the 0.1 bonus for sticking that final element in the prelims. First with 13.8. Certainly came out there and gave it absolutely everything. It's just going to be a bit of a waiting game for him now. But hopefully he is pleased with that performance. Took a bronze in the vault at the World Cup earlier this year. That was the one that was in Egypt. 5th on the floor and vault in Croatia. So if he was to medal here today, that would be a brilliant result for him on the floor particularly.
And he was 13.9 for Abdulaziz Mirvaliev.
And it's a 13.9, putting him firmly into first place with an execution score of 8.9. So he has increased his score from the preliminaries by 0.1, and that has set the bar pretty high for the final four, who will now have their warm-up. Robert Gulumyan from Armenia will be going first after the warm-up. He qualified in 3rd place, which is a tremendous result for him, as he hasn't really had any international experience. Qualifying in 2nd was his teammate who will go 2nd in this group, Petrosian.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to welcome the next finalist on floor. Under your applauses, let's welcome Robert Gulumyan, Armenia.
Robert Gulumyan from Armenia. Robert Gulumyan from Armenia starting his floor exercise with the balance. Very nice on the double layer. Oh, but just let the body come forward. Very nice up into a handstand. Oh, didn't quite get the height there on the final somersault. And the double pike just managing to finish in time. He was really up to the maximum there. Getting great experience at this World Challenge Cup. And 3rd in the preliminaries with a 13.4. Just sometimes has his body just a little bit too far forward, certainly did there, so makes it very difficult to control. deductions on execution. If it's a small issue with the execution, it's a 0.1 deduction. For medium, it's a 0.3, and for a large deduction, it's a 0.5. Lots of changes to the code of points since Paris last year, of course. And for the men's events, 8 going down to 5. 11.450. He'd reduced his difficulty just slightly, but disappointing for him, having qualified in 3rd place. Armin Petrosian from Armenia qualified 2nd with 13.45. Good start. Very solid. Flexibility is always extraordinary of these gymnasts, and the strength as well. And really excellent finish there. Quite a performance from Armen Petrosian. Score to beat is a 13.9 from Merveliev from Uzbekistan. Petrosian scored 13.45 in the preliminaries, so he does need to increase that by 0.5 if he wants to take a possible gold medal here. 30 years of age, very experienced. He's competed at a couple of European championships, though the last one was back in 2021. I was impressed with how he nailed some of the landings, slight alterations there. Very nice round in the double pike. He looks absolutely delighted with that performance, as he should. He had a 4.9 difficulty in the preliminaries. Always a lovely experience for the athletes to sit here and wait the score when you are personally very happy with your performance. Makes all the hard work pay off. His best result at the European Championships was coming 14th in the all-around. .65 into a 2nd place. With 2 more to go, he is assured of a medal as we move on to Kmonyan Islamov from Uzbekistan. He had the highest degree difficulty in the prelims, qualified in 5th place. Double layout, just light alterations. this for 2 seconds. Have to make full use of the floor. Excellent. A fabulous performance by Islamov. Comes from Tashkent. So he will be well used to training and competing at this beautiful sports palace.
Power. Insane brilliance. Mastered by Islamov. Oh, wow.
Always a friendly rivalry between all of the gymnasts. They have a huge amount of respect for each other. He took part in a couple of World Cups last year in Azerbaijan and also in Germany. Very high on the double layout. Also competed at Egypt as well. Good speed here. We'd all love a fist pump at the end. 13.7, 0.05 ahead of Islamov from Uzbekistan, so into second place. Marcel Graf from Germany, qualified 7th. Here getting a wonderful experience at this World Challenge Cup. Hasn't really competed internationally before. Just those slight step forwards. But he's very light on his feet and fluid in his moves. Again, good speed, keeping the hips nice and high. Good line on the handstand. Looked secure on the balance. And a strong double pike to finish. So 12.75 was his score in the preliminaries. So he hasn't really had much international experience as we await the final standings. Looks like Uzbekistan has taken the first gold as we wait for that confirmation here in Tashkent. For Armenia, it's Armen Petrosyan taking the bronze medal, 13.650. The silver to Uzbekistan, Kmunyan Islamov, 13.7. And it's the gold to Abdulaziz Mirabilev from Uzbekistan. 13.9. What a way to start this World Challenge Cup, with the host country taking both the gold and the silver. Their first medals on the men's floor. Congratulations to the athletes. Exceptional performances.
Show your respect for the national anthem of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
The first medals have been presented, and it's gold and silver to Uzbekistan and bronze to Armenia. Ravsham Kamilyanov, he'll be going in front of the home crowd. Silver medalist from the World Challenge Cup in Bulgaria last year. He'll be very keen to have a strong performance to ensure another medal at an international competition. But those two are up against the gold medalist from Slovenia. A title, Dias Toijbek from Kazakhstan, won earlier this year, and he will be obviously keen to do it again. His teammate Idrisov had the highest difficulty in the preliminaries, but it can all change for the finals. Idrisov started with a 5.9. and the 19-year-old will be going second. Making sure the hands are nicely chalked up. Sometimes the gymnasts like to bring their own chalk as well. So much focus. This is all about getting momentum, not having any hesitation. That perpetual motion. They need it to be as fluid as possible and keep good form throughout. The judges will be looking for good distance as well above the handles, keeping the legs together, knees straight, that good extension right down to the toes. Making sure the pommel horse is set up correctly as we await the first competitor.
Pommel horse will be
Bogdan Subron from Ukraine qualified in 7th place, the 20-year-old from the Donetsk region. Very good momentum here and good height as well. The one handle work. To make sure you use the full pommel. Oh, just lost form there a little bit. Into the handstand, pirouette and out. Just a little bit in the middle where he did lose his form a little bit, but he managed to keep that momentum going. It's very, very difficult if you feel that you're just starting to lose the speed of the momentum. They must travel forwards on the pommel horse, in the Magyart, and backwards as well in the Givado. The judges are looking for good technique throughout the 8 elements, showing really good strength. But as I say, that fluidity of the moves as well, particularly when they move into the handstand and the pirouette. Kept the swing going very nicely here as he moved on to the one handle. Here was where he just lost the height, but well done to him for keeping going. And there as well. Takes a lot of strength to get it back again. .4 was his score in the qualification, where he was 7th, the 20-year-old, 12.550, so a slight increase on his qualification. As we move on to the second competitor, qualified in 4th place, Zianola Idrisov from Kazakhstan. Bronze medal from the Junior World Championships, and really getting good speed here and good travel. Looks in total control. Ah, no, and just as I said that, it all went horribly wrong. What a shame. He needs to regroup and get back onto the pommel horse quickly, but obviously large deductions. What a disappointment for him. He was started so strongly. Very nice on one-armed work. And the pirouette at the end was strong, the handstand and pirouette, but a big disappointment for him there, the 19-year-old. He's won a lot of medals on this. At the World Cups this year, he's taken a bronze and 2 silvers. He was at the World Challenge Cups, the World Cups, a silver and a bronze. Started his international journey, if you like, of being on the podium back at the Junior World Championships in 2023 with a bronze. That was in Turkey. So he certainly has the talent, but just didn't go his way today. I love the extension that he had in his legs and his feet here. The fluidity of the moves, it all seemed to be going so well. The speed that he was getting, and he finished strongly as well. The faster you go, the easier it is to keep the momentum, but a full mark deduction if you fall off. So not how he had wanted his finals to go today. But I always admire the gymnasts when they fall off, the way they regroup. They only have 30 seconds to regroup and get back on, and then finish all of the other elements. Takes a very strong mind to be able to forget what's gone before and really just focus on what's to come. And of course, if they miss an element because they fall off as well, not only do they lose the difficulty for that, but it can be in addition to the 1 mark penalty. Lots of gymnasts of the future hopefully watching and enjoying this World Challenge Cup. Wonderful opportunity to see some of the best in the world. 13.2 is his score. 7.7 for the execution. The highest qualifier from the preliminaries, Mamikon Khachatrian from Armenia. He had a 9.1 for his execution on the qualifications. Beautiful on the flare work. Really keeping the momentum and the speed. This is good. Moving forwards, and then the back. It has to be included. The handstand, the pirouette, fabulous performance from the silver medalist from the European Championships.
An insane routine demonstrated by these athletes on pommel.
Has always been strong at this event. Silver at the Junior World Championships as well. The 18-year-old, they were held back in 2023 and was part of the team there from Armenia that finished 4th. Certainly made full use of the pommel horse. And so much height here on the flares. Good one-handle work. Just a little bit of hesitation there. Keeping the legs together at all times on those moves before he moves up into that handstand. 14.5. Execution 9, just 0.1 off his execution from the That has set the bar very high indeed. Diaz Toshibek from Kazakhstan, the final one of the first four. Some difficult work there. Just slightly off balance there right at the end. Qualified in third place, the 24-year-old. But some real talent in this pommel horse final today. Took gold at the World Challenge Cup in Slovenia. Qualified with 13.90, score to beat 14.5. Slightly lower score for Kacherin from Armenia than he got in the preliminaries at 14.8. Every time they touch the pommel or the handles, it would be slight deductions from the judges. Need to keep it clean and clear. Keep those hips nice and high, but he had really good speed here. Such a difficult apparatus. Just losing a little bit of form as he moves up there before the dismount. So is he going to get higher than the 13.9 that he got to achieve the third in the qualification? Then we will have the warm-up, followed by the final four athletes. Oh, it's lower than he got in the prelims, so that's a shame for him. You can see the head drop, 7.8 on his execution. So it doesn't look like it is going to be a medal for him today. That's really disappointing for him, having qualified in third place. As the next warm-up begins. All gymnasts have a different way of warming up. Some like to go through most of their program. Others like to maybe focus on one particular element that is maybe giving them a little bit more difficulty. The 8 elements. As I mentioned, they have to do the Magiart, which is traveling forwards, and the Javado, traveling backwards. They have to show really good technique and swing. It takes a lot of strength for that. No hesitation at all. Keep that perpetual motion going all of the time. To go up into the pirouette and the handstand at the end, and keep the swing above the handles. Some small deductions if they brush into it. Lots for the judges to look at as we move on now to the neutral athlete, Mikita Parfjanovic. Qualified in 8th place, but getting really good height there, keeping those hips very high over the handles. Showing good travel. Needs to keep the speed up. and that's what happens if you don't keep that speed up, unfortunately. The frustration showing for the 20-year-old. Regroups. Showed a good line there in the handstand to finish, but yeah, it will be a frustrating day for Pavljanovic. He did well though to qualify for this finals. He's had an 11th and a 10th place earlier this year in the World Cups. As we await the veteran Filip Ode from Croatia, 3 times Olympian. 14.5 is the score leading the way so far. Just needed a little bit more speed here, but kept the legs well together. Good extension. There's a lot of stresses on the wrists on this apparatus. .12.7, putting him into a 3rd place. 5.3 on the difficulty, so he had increased the difficulty since the preliminaries. 6th competitor, Filip Ode from Croatia, qualified 6th. Silver medalist from the 2008 Olympic Games on this apparatus. Well, it's not going to be the performance that he wanted to give. Very frustrating for him. Finished just off the medals at the World Challenge Cup in Slovenia. But has had a silver medal last year in Croatia. Very good body line. Let's keep those knees locked out. Well, apart from the obvious error, overall a solid performance on the other elements from Filip Ode. The 39-year-old veteran has been around for a long time. I mean, what an achievement, 3 Olympic Games. And he has won a number of medals along the way, and gold medals in this event as well. But his standout moment, his most memorable moment, I'm sure, will be the silver medal from Beijing in 2008. He qualified in 6th with 12.65 was his score there, with a 5.3 difficulty. He's 39 now. He's been doing gymnastics for 32 years, kept jumping over the furniture as a 7-year-old, so his family wanted to put him into gymnastics. He tried all sports, but once he started winning medals, he committed to this particular sport. He's really driven by a desire to win gold at major international tournaments before he retires. So he will be very frustrated that that hasn't gone his way today. Silver medalist at the European Championships back in 2020. Silver medalist at the World Championships a long time ago, 11 years ago, and silver at the Olympic Games. You can see why he's driven in that desire to get the gold at a major international as well. Did win a gold in Germany at the World Cup back in 2022. 12.45. Not the result that he wanted today. Ravshal Kamalyanov from Uzbekistan qualified in second place. 14.05 was his score there, so he has a real chance of perhaps getting on the podium today. He needs this to be clean, he needs it to be fast and fluid. Very good one-handle work, quickly moving to the other end of the pommel. Really good travel. Well, the crowd loved it. Is it going to be enough? 14.5 is the score to beat at the moment. The 22-year-old took a silver on this apparatus at the World Challenge Cup last year. Has competed extensively in a lot of the apparatus at the World Cups this year. His highest was 7th in the pommel horse in Egypt. He is from Tashkent, so it's great to have the crowd supporting him here. When he isn't training, he loves to paint and write song lyrics. Started gymnastics back in 2008. This is his idol as a US swimmer, Michael Phelps. I'm sure all of these gymnasts have other athletes that they aspire to be like, regardless of which sport they are in. It's their determination, it's the results that they get, it's their attitude towards competing. .05 for the 22-year-old in the preliminaries. What is it going to be in the finals? He has increased it, 14.350 into the silver medal position with one more athlete to go. So assured of a medal. We'll have to wait and find out what colour it's going to be. Ihor Yushuk from Ukraine qualified 5th. A high degree difficulty of 5.8. Very inexperienced compared to some of the other gymnasts in this event today. Keeping the momentum going as he moves into the travel. A solid performance there. just a couple of times, a little bit of leg separation, not too much, but it did show just a little bit, and needs to keep those knees really locked in place. A big moment for him, though, competing at this World Challenge Cup. He hasn't got international experience. As I say, this is a really good competition to start building and working towards the World Cups, the Continental Championships, and of course the bigger events like the World Championships. There is a World Championships coming up later this year. That's in Jakarta. Keeping the support on those wrists. Such a lot of strength work. You just see the legs coming apart slightly and then going back together again there. So just losing form a couple of times.
Under rotation.
13.4. He has massively increased his score from the preliminaries, and that is good enough to put him into third place. Mamikon Khachatrian, 14.50 for Armenia, taking the gold. Ravshan Kamilyanov, 14.350 from Ukraine, the silver, and Ihor Dishuk from Ukraine, 13.40 to take the bronze.
Next finalist, and these are the finalists on uneven bars.
This is the draw for the first four that we will be watching. Akrokon Temirkonovov. He qualified first. It's not the highest degree difficulty he didn't have, but he certainly made up for his execution. They met Cossack from Turkey, qualified in second place, the bronze medalist at 2 World Cups this year. Can he make it onto the podium yet again? Wang from Chinese Taipei, he was qualifying in third place with the joint highest degree difficulty. Bronze medalist at the World Cup in Slovenia. He'll be going for another clean and impressive performance, hopefully again today. So 8 elements. They have to hold each one for 2 seconds. They do get a bonus for linking the elements, and that 0.1 bonus if they manage to land the dismount. The judges will be looking for really good form, chest up on those landings, that dismount, no wobbling as they hold the elements for those 2 seconds. It's very much about top half strength, the power. That's what you like to see, just real power and strength, no wobbling. Sometimes you'll see that they open the grip, particularly on the cross move. If you open the grip, that shows increased strength as well. So a short warm-up for the first 4 athletes as we then start. This is the last final of the day, the still rings. It's been quite a change for a lot of these gymnasts, changing from 10 elements down to 8. They have to really go with their most difficult. The audience here getting a wonderful view of these still rings. Uzbekistan will be hopeful of getting another gold and certainly a podium place, with Temerkhanov qualifying in first place. 13.85 was his score there, as they put additional chalk onto the rings. And yes, apologies for that there was a delay before this final. I understand it was a technical problem. But I'm sure this final will absolutely be worth waiting for. Stage is set. The gymnasts are ready. They've done their warm-up. The first athlete is about to go in the still rings final. Dmytro Trusko from Ukraine. Qualified fourth. Nicely round into the top planche. And the cross, keeping the grip. Swing into the multi, the cross. Very nice and steady there. Oh, and a good dismount, just that one step coming forward, so won't get that 0.1 bonus for sticking. Being congratulated by fellow athletes as well. They're always very supportive and respectful of each other, which is so good to see in any sport. So he started, his qualification was 13.1 for the 20-year-old. He just had a degree difficulty of 4.9. That was very nice into the top planche. Strength.
So our attention on the screen, because we have
nice swing work.
12.8.
And he has a score of 12.8, so just 0.3 less than in qualification. Ozatilla Abdurasulov from Uzbekistan, fifth in qualification from Tashkent. Oh, missing the line there. Didn't quite get that handstand. Moving down into the Maltese. It just doesn't look comfortable though. Just a few little wobbles, and all of those wobbles make the difference of a 0.10 to the cross. He's beginning to get his composure now. And again, leaving it short in the handstand, having to work extremely hard there. And a smile at the end, which is always good to see. Qualified in 5th place. Competed at the Junior World Championships a couple of years ago in Turkey. He's been doing artistic gymnastics for about 14 years now. I'm sure must train here a lot. Always good to have a competition on your home turf, but it does add to the nerves just a little bit when you're in front of a home crowd, but also good to get their support as well. Here you can just see, just really needs to get the line a little bit better. That was good on the top planche, and the Maltese was good as well. So dropped into the cross. He certainly seemed to build up in confidence as he went through the programme. And a very strong dismount there. Twelve 12.8 is the highest score, and he's gone ahead of that, 13.050, and does get the additional 0.1 for nailing that last dismount. Feet firmly on the ground, no movement at all. Now from Chinese Taipei, Wang Yizhang, qualified in 3rd place. Bronze medalist from the World Challenge Cup in Slovenia this year. Very nicely into the Maltese. Showing good strength there. Just needs to control the rings. There's no movement at all. Shoulders in line with the rings there. Just a little bit of movement. Oh, and he'll be crossed not to get that 0.1 bonus. You can see on his face, because it can make the difference between getting a medal or not, that 0.1. Scores are always so close with artistic gymnastics, and of course particularly in the still rings as well. So bronze at the World Challenge Cup earlier this year. He's competed in a couple of World Cups as well, in Doha, Qatar, and in Croatia as well. He's had an 8th and a 14th place. .25 was his score in qualification. That was good enough for a 3rd place. 13.050 leading the way. He showed really good form on the Maltese here. Just a few little wobbles. They count for a 1/10 of a mark on each one, those small little deductions. If it was more, it would be 0.3 or 0.5. 13.3. He has increased his score from qualifications. That puts him into 1st place. The highest qualifier, Akrogon Timekanov from Uzbekistan, 13.85 in the preliminaries. Oh, showing great strength there. Very nice Maltese into the cross. He wanted the additional 0.1, he won't get it. But other than that, a very good performance indeed. Took the silver in Bulgaria last year in the still rings. He doesn't necessarily go with that highest degree, as I was saying, but he normally has a very strong execution, and that certainly worked for him in the qualification rounds. His degree difficulty then was a 5.1 for the 24-year-old. 13.85 was his score. 13.3 leading the way at the moment. Certainly got a wonderful welcome from the audience here. Very appreciative of the work their gymnasts put in. 13.550. So a bit less than his qualification score, but nevertheless good enough to put him into first place with 4 athletes to go. And those 4 gymnasts will be warming up now, going through their paces. We'll have gymnasts from Kazakhstan, 2 from Turkey, and 1 from Ukraine. Judges themselves have had to re-qualify as well since the new code of points have come out with those changes. So they have to make sure that they are fully aware of what the changes are. Code of points normally lasting for a few years, changing after each Olympic cycle. I think the addition of the 0.1 for sticking the dismount is a really good addition to the rules. You can really see on the facial expressions of a lot on the gymnasts if they don't quite get that final dismount. The frustration knowing that every 0.1 absolutely counts. So we move on to the 7th qualifier next from Ukraine. So I've heard that there has been a substitution, and that Mert Öztürk from Germany, who was the first reserve, will now be competing 7th in place of Kerem Zener. So the final 4 athletes, the still rings final. Budan Suprun from Ukraine, qualified in 7th place. held on the Maltese to the cross and opening the grip to show that he's in total control. Adds to the difficulty. And again, shoulders in line with the rings. Top planche, just a little bit of movement in the legs. And again there, just that little bit of swaying. Just to control the rings. I thought he'd nailed the dismount there. Body just a little bit forward. Held onto it, but then that little jump forward. His score in qualification was 13.0 for the 20-year-old. Hasn't had too much experience on the international stage, but did compete at the World Championships when they were held in Great Britain in Liverpool in 2022. I remember going to that. I can't believe it was in 2022. It's nice and steady here. Shoulders have to be in line with the rings there. He certainly showed very good strength throughout. Held onto it. Just that little hop forward. And breathes a big sigh of relief. .550 is the score to beat, and it's a 13, fourth place, so it's not going to be on the podium today. Dmitry Patinin from Kazakhstan, the last qualifier. Ah, missed the swing and hold. That was better. Swing to strength, the first one, not being able to hold it, which will be a frustration for him. The top half strength that these artistic gymnasts need is really quite incredible. Remember, 8 elements, they do have to hold it for 2 seconds. And that's what he didn't manage to do. Was really in control at this point. To drop the shoulders. Here he had the tuck, then the pike, but just didn't quite get to that handstand position. Smaller steps as you come off it. The dismount, 0.1 deduction. Bigger would be a 0.3 deduction for a big step on the dismount. 12.050. Next up, the first reserve actually being called on, Mert Öztürk from Germany. You'll be delighted to be able to have a chance to compete in this final. Not that experienced at international competition, but this is his moment. And you're in the final, anything can happen. 12.1 was his qualification score. Just leaving it a little bit short on the line there. Through the pikes and the tucks into the swing. Oh, hold it. Just losing form there. And the double pike, a little hop forward right at the end. Well, when you're a reserve, you always have to be on hand in the hope that you will qualify for the final, and he did. A really good experience for him to get in a final at a World Challenge Cup. Just 19 years of age. Missed out on qualifying originally by about 0.6 behind Patanin from Kazakhstan. But then had his moment in the limelight in the final. And of course, that does mean more points when it comes to the rankings and also some prize money as well. Very nice and steady here. Just not quite getting the vertical alignment. Difficult to see from this camera angle a little bit, but seem to just leave things a bit short, and a little bit of movement on the rings as well. But a very nice dismount with the pike. 12.350. Mehmet Aybek Cossack from Turkey qualified second. 13.8 was his score then. Just 0.05 off first. What can he do today? Oh, tremendous strength. Good on the top planche. Really looks in control. Very good program so far as he goes into the Maltese. Drops into the cross. Oh, didn't quite get the dismount, just that little step forward. But other than that, a very solid performance indeed. And I talk about the 0.1 for the dismounts. I mean, it makes a huge difference when you think that he qualified second with 13.8 and he was 0.05 off qualifying in first place. These 0.1s all make that difference. So 13.550 is leading the way. Timirkanov from Uzbekistan. He would be a popular winner with the crowd, of course. 13.4. It's a second place for Mehmet Cossack.
And here we see the standings on the screen. First place, second place is
Really nice control here. No wobbling at all, in total control. Just that little step forward. 13.4 was his total score. As we get a chance, hopefully, to see the final rankings. And here we have the rankings for the rings final. Timonov, 13.550, takes the gold. Wang from Chinese Taipei takes the silver, 13.3. And Abdulazov from Uzbekistan taking the bronze. The ceremony for the pommel horse final.
Our ceremony for men's pommel horse final, third place and bronze medal winner, Ihor Tishuk, Ukraine.
Ihor Tishuk from Ukraine taking the bronze, 13.40.
Second place and silver medalist, Ravshan Kamiljanov from Uzbekistan.
Ravshan Kamiljanov from Uzbekistan, he takes the silver, 14.35.
FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Challenge Cup, Mamikon Khachatryan, Armenia.
Mamikon Khachatryan from Armenia. He was the silver medalist at the recent European Championships, and now he takes the gold, 14.5.
And Miss Ludmila Lee, FIG Women's Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee member. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and show your respect for the national anthem of Armenia. And so we congratulate the winners of the World Challenge Cup.
Congratulations to all the gymnasts. And here we have the medalists for the steel rings final. Wang Yihesiang from Chinese Taipei taking the bronze. Mehmet Kosak from Turkey, the silver. Akrukon Temurkanov from Uzbekistan, the popular gold medalist here. His score 13.550 for silver, 13.4 for bronze, 13.3. Many congratulations to the steel rings medalists. Well, it's certainly been a very busy day. Tashkent in Uzbekistan. The World Challenge Cup will, of course, continue tomorrow with 5 more finals.